Rob's Roundtable. We got Mike's story, the triumphant return of Nick O-Face. Give him a good O-Face.
Ow.
And you can almost double fist with these microphones.
Ow.
Love it. All right. Rookie landing spots. Draft just finished a couple days ago. We are going to get into we already went to the kind of player these guys are. We're going to talk about where they're going, what kind of role they're going to have, what their draft capital is, and kind of project and, get you ready for a little bit of fantasy, dynasty, all that stuff, all that good stuff. We're going to start with quarterbacks, and we're going to really get into this Michael Penix thing, which is
surprising to say the least.
No shit.
It's crazy, and I'm a big Family Guy fan, right? I love the cutaways. If you watch enough of this show, you know I put a lot of cutaways in. I'm going to give you a little Peter cutaway. Michael Penix getting drafted by the Falcons is as risky as playing bloody knuckles with Freddie Mercury.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, what'd you have?
No, I just made that up.
Okay. Oh.
I thought you had a couple.
Bloody knuckles, AIDS.
I see what you did.
What do you guys think about the draft real quick? Talent, surprises. You're a Niners fan. Some really weird picks, but some good picks.
Yeah, I think, without getting too in-depth now, we'll talk about Pearsall in the next pod, but I like the fit, and I think it's more about the team and the fit than it is like he was the best pure receiver available. And I kind of equated it to fantasy football, right, where you're picking at the turn, you want your guy, you just take him. You reach, you make sure you get who you want because they're not going to be there at your next pick. As a whole, though, the fucking Penix pick is insane to me.
All right, let's get into quarterback. We're going to go based on draft position here. Number one, he's got the Bears gear on. Caleb Williams to the Bears. It was a done deal from the second they traded Fields.
No surprise. Minus 10,000 going into the draft.
What do you think of Caleb Fields? We've both had our takes on this show. Your thoughts on Caleb Williams coming out? What do you think about him?
Appears to have all the tools that you want in a quarterback. The off the field, like him being kind of whether it's for attention or goofy, like I don't care about any of that shit, man. Paint your nails whatever color you want, wear whatever you want. If you can play football, I don't give a fuck. But I would say he's right there with Trevor Lawrence is one of the most hyped quarterbacks coming out, one of the most ready, brings a little bit of a rushing skill set along with a big arm. Tries to make plays, holds on a little bit long sometimes, but I don't know, you can't get mad at a guy for trying too hard. So as a whole, it was a no-brainer. There's no one else even close to him in this class. I don't think Fields coming out is anywhere near what Williams was right now, but I still believe in Fields, too. I got hope for him.
And all that being said, you say there was no one else close to him in this class. This is, at least all the experts and everyone, this is a great quarterback class. So to say that is saying a lot.
It is.
Story, landing spot, what do you think?
There is no better landing spot for Caleb Williams than what the Bears have done, both in this draft and prior to this draft, to set him up for success. They might be the best offensive team in the NFC at this point. Dallas is right there. Obviously, Dallas is probably still the best offensive team. But what they have done to set him up to be winning solves everything. It's the best salve. So I think you've echoed a lot of what Bears fans. There's a lot of consternation about his off-the-field activities and the way he presents himself leading up to it. But when he wins 10, 11 games in his rookie season and he becomes the Bears' all-time passing leader, that – a lot of can be forgiven.
Which isn't saying much for one.
It's not.
It's pretty much a foregone conclusion because if it doesn't happen,
do you know what the all-time yardage is?
Like 3,800.
3,800.
Yeah, no one's ever thrown for 4,000. He's going to have
how did Cutler not throw for 4,000?
What you were mentioning is the biggest concern we were talking about it's leadership. That's the biggest concern with Caleb, right? Can you get the guys to buy in? And winning does cure all those things, right? But losing
100%.
Does the opposite, where then it becomes the cancer situation of, is this guy the problem? Even though he does have, has there been a better situation that a number one pick has came into?
No, because it wasn't their pick. They weren't the worst team in the NFL. They were on the brink of the playoffs, and they lucked into a number one.
I wouldn't say they lucked in. I mean, give them credit where credit. They fleeced Carolina.
Yeah, but Carolina shouldn't have been that bad after having the first pick the year before.
Fantasy, real life, like this is as close to a slam dunk as we've had, which we know there is no such thing. But in real life, I think it props the weapons up more, right? And it gives the running game, just everything, a nice, fresh start.
What's interesting is you could argue that he's not even the most sure thing in this draft class with Marvin Harrison, and we'll talk about it in the next podcast. All signs point to Marvin Harrison being more as there's no such thing as a sure thing. They said it in Moneyball, you don't have a crystal ball, neither do I. But if you're talking Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison, those two are as sure as we've seen, certainly more so than Trevor Lawrence was 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
All right, Jayden Daniels, number 2, Washington Commanders. I still like to call them the Redskins, but they'll call me racist. They're the Redskins. We'll call them the Commanders for this exercise. Number 2,
the Washington football team.
He's really high on Jayden Daniels. What are your thoughts?
I am not high on Jayden Daniels.
I am not either. I had him down at 4.
I saw a world where maybe he slid down a few picks. I think Maye should have been the second pick, personally. Daniels is just he's got a lean-ass frame for his height. I'm concerned about the way he runs. He's kind of a reckless runner. Like, he doesn't give a fuck. And I'm
like a Muppet.
You're gonna care.
He runs like a Muppet. Have you ever seen him run?
I mean, is it like if you get in
heads
a car
whipping around?
and you get in a car accident when you're drunk, you don't tense up and you don't get hurt as much? Is that his logic?
I mean, yeah, that's a good way to look at it, right?
Right.
Like,
well, the thing is, like, haven't we seen this with Washington before with RG3?
Yeah, he's
And,
a taller
RG3
RG3.
was a revelation for 1 year.
Yeah.
And then guess what? Injuries.
Yeah.
He was never the same. And if you take the athletic ability away from a Jayden Daniels, what do you have? And an accurate. I know his deep ball is nice, but that's
got
in
an,
college with Malik Neighbors.
okay, we did talk about this too, but
you have, what do you have? You have literally a Carson Wentz situation.
Well, Neighbors and
Right?
Thomas. I mean,
Carson Wentz
two
looked
top
really good
25
until he lost his
receivers.
athleticism. And okay, so what do you think about the fit story? What do you think?
I like it. I think this is another strong step in the right direction for offense in terms that they need a lot of work on defense, obviously. But what they did, especially, I mean, they drafted a strong tight end in the second round in order to support him. So Terry McLaurin has never really been a breakthrough, but you also have Curtis Samuel there. So you got enough weapons.
Samuel's gone.
Oh, that's right. He did. Yeah. Okay.
They got a rookie to replace him.
You have Jahan Dotson,
Yeah.
right?
They got Luke McCaffrey.
Yes.
He's the next Curtis
Yes.
Samuel.
Yeah. Look at this guy.
He's going to fill that role, right?
Yeah, I mean, out of Rice, strong wide receiver there. So I'm happy with the fit. I think it's good. I think Washington will struggle for a little bit, but they should come into their own with
Real
Jayden
quick,
Daniels.
Do you like it for Terry McLaurin? Because I'm a big Terry McLaurin fan. I think he's one of the biggest dogs in the NFL, and dog in a good way.
Dude is a
the
beast.
guy's a player. The guy plays every game. He just has never had a quarterback.
I don't think that he's shown us enough in the first 3 years of his career to make us think that he can take the next step forward.
But
I think he's going to always be it
He
too.
needs a pocket passer.
Yeah, but Jayden, I mean, we're talking real life and we're talking fantasy. Jayden Daniels, the real big strength here is his athleticism and his ability to run. Right, he's going to challenge the league for most rushing yards by a quarterback.
We all
this
agree
year.
we like him more in a fantasy prospect, at least his first couple of years.
100%.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. It's the
Yeah.
Russian upside, right? I mean, and
Yes.
that's where the Commanders are going.
And the
with
big
it.
playability, which we know he has.
Yeah.
It's just the fumbles, the sacks, the injury questions.
And the injury is a big part of it for me, but everyone's healthy till they're not. And another kicker with Dotson and McLaurin. How long can you cover McLaurin? Because if Daniels is running around back there, I don't think you're going to cover McLaurin very long.
No, you're not. I love that. Nice point there. Drake Maye, number 3 to the Patriots. This is hilarious. Just, I don't know, the whole Patriots situation, drafting receivers, everything about it. But I did kind of like their draft, all things considered. First post-Belichick draft in 20 years. Story, what do you think about Drake Maye? I know you weren't as high as most on him. What do you think about the fit?
I really didn't like that his production took a step back last year. I know he lost some weapons, but it's a good fit for the scheme and what I think that we'll see what they do in the post Belichick era. Like you said, he's like a bigger, faster, stronger Mac Jones. So he could be what we hoped Mac Jones was going to be, or he could be Mac Jones 2.0.
Real quick, I take big offense to you comparing Drake Maye to Mac Jones. Because,
I said he's bigger and faster and stronger.
like, Mac Jones blows.
Well,
He's had the inconsistencies, and it's going to be, to me, like a potential for a Josh Allen-esque coming into the NFL.
Yes.
He's going to struggle. The Patriots are going to have another high pick next year. As long as he can weather the storm and Gerard Mayo keeps everyone buying into that locker room, which he should. He's a player's coach, right? I think if you can see Maye take the next step as a passer, it could be amazing for a long time up there with him. But it's a huge question mark because more often than not, they don't take that next step. So
Yeah. We could all agree, though, Drake Maye is a guy that is the perfect candidate to sit a year.
well,
is
yeah,
probably not gonna
that was going to
happen.
be my question. Does he sit behind Jacoby Brissett to A, start the season, B, all season long, assuming that Jacoby Brissett's healthy, or are they going to shuffle him in right away from week 1?
Didn't they draft the other guy from Tennessee, the quarterback?
Yeah,
Joe Milton.
So they have 2 projects.
Yes,
Yeah.
but Jacoby Brissett is the presumed starter there.
I think so, and I think he's the starter until someone shows that they're better day in and day out.
They're gonna suck balls.
Yeah.
We all know that, which is fine, but like get them in there week 8, week 9.
So
kind of Will Levis situation, and
if you're the Patriots, I want to know, like, what if you're the GM, right? You're running the Patriots show. You're Robert Kraft minus the massages. Do you accept a Minnesota offer, or do you turn it down like they did?
I accept it.
It was both of their first rounders this year and the first rounder next year.
Yeah, accept it.
I think the move is always to draft down and accrue picks.
Like, is
right?
he's
Like,
made that good that you don't
Right.
move down? Like, I don't think that he's that sure of
We'll
a
see.
thing.
I don't know.
It's a risky
down,
thing, but
yeah.
they could hit the lottery because a lot of people do think Drake May is. I've heard the best quarterback.
But you want more bites at the apple, right? I mean, that's it. So we'll see.
The Atlanta Falcons, number 8, Michael Penix Jr., the craziest pick ever. We touched on it earlier. We touched on it a lot. Landing spot situation. This is insane because I didn't like Penix. You liked him more. I don't know.
I do
what your
like him
thoughts real
still.
quick on Penix. Do you think
I
he's
think no, and I don't think Tua's bad. I watched you guys last show and your take on him, and I think you might be a little lower on Tua than I am, and I know you're a little lower on Penix, but I don't know if it was the system, Odunze, the receivers, but he put some good film out, man. There's I think some potential, but fantasy impact is fucking null and void this
Because he's
year.
not gonna play.
Yeah.
So for me, it all boils down to, listen, the Falcons are planning for the future now. It's a stupid move to pay $100 million for Kirk Cousins and then go and draft somebody at 8 overall. But they fell in love with him, and they weren't willing to lose that prospect, so they think he's the guy.
Would we all agree if Cousins wasn't in play here, which he is, clear because $90 million guaranteed, he would have the second best landing spot behind Caleb Williams if he was the presumed starter day 1?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, J.J. McCarthy, number 10 to the Vikings. This was supposed to be number 4. They were supposed to trade up to get this. They got him at 10. They got their guy. They have a great offensive mind in Kevin O'Connell. This is the spot for this guy. And whether you like him or hate him, I don't know if he was necessarily a project. He's a winner. What better spot than having Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson, a great offensive mind, a decent offensive line, a winning culture than this?
Yeah, the only thing that I think you're missing there is the ability to run to set up the pass, and I'm not sure how many hits McCarthy's going to take as a result of that. He won a ton of games in college, obviously, but he never had to do much. So I question his clutch. Like when the pressure's on or when he needs to step up, is he going to be that guy or not? I don't really know. Like you didn't see it there because they were able to run the ball so much and put him in good early down situations and good passing situations. And I don't know that he's going to get that out of this Minnesota team, but those receiver weapons are just nasty, dude. They're great.
Yeah, and the scheme too,
I mean,
Yeah, you can't under or overlook O'Connell. I mean, he puts all of his. Look what fucking Mullins did last year, man, and averaged 330 yards a
And Nick
game,
Mullins
and
is
how many
trash,
touchdowns
dude.
like in those 6 games that he started. So if he did it on that essentially same team,
yeah, I see what you're saying about McCarthy, and we had this conversation about Blake Corum when we did the rookie preview. But the point is, they went undefeated last year, and there's no time that McCarthy went into the coach's office, and said, "Hey, let me pad my stats a little bit,"
No.
because you're winning. You got
Yeah.
the national championship on the line. So I don't think you can take that away from him because he
No.
did everything that was asked of him.
it's just an unknown. Is all
Yeah,
I'm saying.
but great third down completion, great on play action, well over 75% on play action. He falls into a perfect situation. Justin Jefferson was always going to get his, but now you can feel strongly about Jordan Addison. You can feel that T.J. Hawkinson, probably the number 3 tight end in the league. Well, okay, number 3, probably number 4 behind Mark Andrews and my boy over in Detroit.
Kyle Pitts?
Yeah.
But
Let's not annoy
dude,
Sam Laporta, you motherfucker.
do you think that the play action is going to sell enough in Minnesota? You think that run game is going to be strong enough to sell the play action?
I mean, I don't think Aaron
Opening
Jones
up
is
the pass?
anywhere done. I don't think he's done at all.
No?
So, yeah, I'm
Okay.
I'm fully
Chip
on
the
board.
shoulder, too.
Yeah.
Can he stay healthy?
Yeah.
There's always a question about that, but it might be a little bit of a reach. But Minnesota knew what this is another team that knew what they wanted, and they weren't willing to let it go. I mean, yeah.
No, I like the pick.
2 things. Would we all agree that this is a better real life fit than fantasy fit? Even though the weapons are there.
I don't think
but, like,
he's going to be a solid. It's tough to say that when I'm really high in Addison and Justin Jefferson, like I said, always going to get his, and I like Aaron Jones, I like Hawkinson, but yeah, this is a case of a much better real life fit than a fantasy fit. He's not going to be Cousins 2.0.
Right.
He's going to be a very solid contributor, but those other guys can always have blow-up games.
It's because Cousins had the volume, and we don't know if the volume's going to be there with McCarthy. My second question is Justin Jefferson. Is this a step back for him fantasy-wise, a lateral move, or a step forward? Bo Nix, my boy, number 12 to Denver, very early. I had him at 2. I'm a big fan of Bo Nix, and I'm very happy with the fit in terms of head coach and culture, not so much with the weapons because they had no draft capital. Russell Wilson fucked their ass. Let's be honest. It was rough. They
really
gave up
did.
so much for Russell Wilson, and it destroyed any kind of team they had. And they've been awful ever since that championship. They haven't made the playoffs. I read that stat.
I still don't like the Judy
that?
trade either. I think the Judy trade was stupid.
They have not made the playoffs since the Russell Wilson trade. Is that
They
right?
haven't made the playoffs since fucking Peyton Manning won the Super Bowl.
That's not
Can you
good.
believe that?
That's not good.
Denver, proud franchise.
Yeah.
Because John Elway is a fucking plastic surgery fucking clown. That's just getting in his
But
fucking brain.
isn't he out now? I don't think he has as much power. I don't think he's doing the same shit that he's been doing in that front office.
More plastic surgery stuff.
Oh, he's busy.
He's got to fix what already got fucked up, right?
Okay.
Number 12, Denver. What do you guys think? The fit, fantasy. I don't think any of us are in that one for a while.
No.
But do you think he has a chance?
He should mesh well with Sean Payton in the offense that he wants to put on the field. He's going to be reunited with Troy Franklin as college wide receiver, so there should be some simpatico there. I don't know if he's going to start week 1, right? Jarrett Stidham's still there, and they traded for Zach Wilson. I don't know what to think. This is going to be a 3-way battle in training camp.
It is, and Peyton's the type too. He's going to be like, let's iron sharpens iron. Let's let the best man win, and really push all of them. And I think if any coach can get the most out of that group, it's going to be Sean Payton. And like you alluded to, Drew Brees-esque, right, type style that he plays with. Obviously, Peyton saw the same thing you saw, and I don't know if you were texting Peyton or what it was, but
I said it first.
I heard on the pod.
Towards the draft, everyone was mentioning Drew Brees.
Yeah,
I was saying this a couple weeks ago, like a month ago. And it was the footwork, it was the savvy, it was the moxie, it was the 5 years in college.
And it's just getting the ball in the hands of your playmakers and letting them do their thing, dude. It's playing smart football.
And I read a stat, he had 30% of his passes his senior year, which is his last year, were at or behind the line of scrimmage, which is Sean Payton's MO, right?
Yeah.
He wants a guy that gets the ball quick decisions, take what the defense gives, and when there's a shot, you take a shot.
I mean, that's the RPO offense that he ran at Oregon, right? I mean, it is
Perfect fit.
It's a good fit. I don't know that necessarily translates to the NFL. It's not going to be all RPOs in the NFL. Right, the AFC West is much tougher than the Pac-12, but yeah, that's a good fit right there.
And who's the receiving threat there that separates on short to intermediate routes? Like, I don't know.
Troy Franklin.
Yeah, it'll be Troy Franklin.
Which is a perfect fit because
Marvin Mims is still there too.
Marvin Mims never stays healthy, and he is a strict deep threat.
Also, I think
he cannot stay healthy.
I think he must have banged Sean Payton's wife because he's.
Everyone bangs. Sean Payton's wife's a cum slut. Let's be honest, because Taysom Hill started it.
He got like 12 snaps a game last year. In one game, he had like 12 snaps. He had 2 touchdowns. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. Yeah. The last one I want to talk about, you may add some guys here, is Spencer Rattler.
What a jump from 6 quarterbacks in the first
to round 5
or 5 quarterbacks, 6 in the first 12 picks, and then all the way down to round 5.
I love Spencer Rattler.
What a drop for him, though.
Why I love Bo Nix so much was the experience, right? And Spencer Rattler had actually as much. You said it, man. The most snaps taken from college. And I look back, he was like the number 2 guy coming out that year in high school. So he was a highly touted prospect coming out, right? Recruited wise. And all he did was put up numbers, and it was a weird program in South Carolina. But, dude, round 5?
Yeah.
For the number 12, which isn't, I'm not talking about round 1, we're talking about top half of round 1.
Yeah.
To round 5 for a guy that I feel isn't that much worse than J.J. McCarthy, if that makes sense. Like, I know J.J. McCarthy had the pedigree. I don't know. Round 5 to number 10, not cool. Great pick. Saints, right? Saints. I didn't write it down.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's a potential really good value there.
I mean, Derek Carr blows.
Yeah, he does. So, Derek Carr, it's also a weird difference. Derek Carr was so afraid to go downfield last year, afraid to make a mistake.
And it's all
Rattler is a gunslinger.
It's all he did with the Raiders, though, dude.
I know. It's such a weird, I mean, as an Alvin Kamara manager in fantasy, it was great, right? The guy's getting 10 catches a game. But Rattler is a gunslinger. He's got a big arm. He's got really good fundamentals. He probably doesn't play year 1 outside of a few snaps here and there, though. This is still Derek Carr's team because the Saints are so poorly run as an organization. But yeah, round 5, tremendous value. Tremendous value.
Yeah, and it's not going to have a lot of implications in fantasy or real life because we don't know if he's going to play. But in terms of like real life value, that's out of the park. They knocked it out of the park. I love this for the Saints. He should have gone in round 3. Would you agree?
Yeah,
I would say
expected
it,
late round
With
3.
the experience
Seems
and isn't the biggest arm talent. I counted him Tony Romo. I feel like the dude is a better prospect coming out than Tony Romo, clearly, out of Eastern Illinois.
Yeah.
You know, like we'll see.
And it's been a complete joy.